Hi guys, this is Dan. Today I'm really excited because I'm gonna talk about my Maze TBR. Even though I epically failed my 5-book goals in April, in this month I will try it again because I don't think I will be as busy as last month, and also I will have more time on reading. My goal for this month is to wrap up the series that I have started earlier in this year. By the way, shall we play a little game? By the time this video is up, there will be a poll on my community post, which will be up to you to choose my very first book to read in May. If you want to control my reading life, you can go voting after going through all the books on my TBR. If you crave epic fantasy adventures but lack a trusty dragon mount, fear not. Subscribe to this channel for reviews, recommendation, and enough fantasy content to fill up your imagination for a lifetime. Without further ado, let's go through my TBR together. The very first book on my April's TBR, without any surprise, is April GSFF book, which is Dragon Rider by Tara Matharu. I know that I don't have the physical book to show you at the moment, but I will pop a picture here. It is my first time to buy any books with a slipcase on, which is kind of cool, but once you take the book out of the slipcase to read, it kind of looks like the standard edition, so I'm not too sure about it. I wish that there could be some design for the spray edge so it would push it to another level. It is the first book of an epic fantasy series called Soulbound Saga. If you can't tell already, this book is all about dragons. Our main character, Jay, I guess it is how you pronounce it, serves the empire that kills his family. The prince from this empire gonna wed a princess from another kingdom, and this princess brought a surprisingly unusual present, which is the dragons. But this wedding goes wrong, interrupted by a coup. Jay seeing this chance to escape, and why not grab a dragon egg? To seek revenge to the empire, Jay has to bond with this dragon. From some comments on the website, this book described it as classic epic fantasy with intricate world building. My only worry is, would this book be like Of Blood and Fire by Ryan Cahill? Too similar to other classic epic fantasy series, especially the first book. How the story gonna unfold or how our main character is gonna be like. So I guess we need to find it out together later in May. The second book on my April's TBR, without a surprise again, it was on my April's TBR, and it is The Pattern of the World by T.J. Greathouse, the last book of the Pack and the Pattern trilogy. I was so busy last month and I overestimated myself to finish 5 books, and also I go for a week of holiday. So I don't really have time to read it and I have to put it in May's TBR. In case you don't know already, this book was set in an Asian-inspired fantasy world. We're gonna follow our main character, Wen, aka Foolish Cur, who thought that by becoming the hand of the emperor, he could make the world better with his new power and according to his own will. In this journey, he would realize his mistakes and of course how foolish he has been. Since then, he tried to rectify his mistakes. How the last book ends looks like we are in a greater danger now. So I can't wait to see how this series gonna be concluded. Speaking of concluding a series, I also have The Light of All That Falls by James Islington, the last book of the Lacanius trilogy. I finished the last book in April and I honestly can't wait to see how this massive threat gonna be resolved. To explain it very briefly, because it is the last book of the series and I don't want to give out too much, the barrier in the north that blocks out all the dangers has been weakening. Our main character is gonna find out different ways to strengthen it again, otherwise it will be the end of humanity. In the last 2 books there are history about the past, political games, secrets, reveal, and betrayal. In the last book, it looks like the problem may have been solved, but the danger is still here. And I want to find out, is our main character gonna be safe or not, because I care about them. So I put this book into my Maze TBR straight away, and I want to finish it as soon as possible. Here comes another series that I would like to continue, and it is The Book That Broke the World by Mark Lawrence, the second book of the Library trilogy. It is a new release in April and I am so lucky to get this Lock Library special edition. The spray edge here looks like just shelves of books, but actually you can form an illustration with the last book, and I guess you can form a whole illustration with the third book, and I can't wait for the moment to come. In this series, we're gonna follow 2 POVs. The first one is a young boy called Eva, who was trapped in this massive library. Another POV in this book is a young girl from the dust called Livira. After literally a series of unfortunate events, she became an apprentice in a library. If you can't tell already, this book centers the library, where all the knowledge, all the wisdom accumulate over the years. I vividly remember what the first book has taught me. Learning in this library is like playing with fire. Of course, you can gain some ancient knowledge, ancient wisdom that can make your life better by reading in this library. But you need to be careful. You need to learn when to stop, otherwise this technology, this wisdom would take over you and literally set a fire on you. I didn't know that the first book is gonna be full of time traveling, but at the end of it comes with a revelation of some shocking secrets. And the writing here is surprisingly whimsical and lyrical, which I didn't expect from Mark Lawrence. If I remember correctly, I don't think the conflict in the first book has been solved, so I want to check out what's gonna happen in the next book. Coming to the last book, I am so excited to share with you all. It is coming from the recently launched Broken Binding Sci-Fi subscription. I was really excited about it and I was really punctual in order to get it. Once again, the book hasn't arrived yet, so I guess I will just pop a picture here for you as a reference. It is The Martian by Andy Weir. This edition is stunning and definitely much better than Matt Damon's face. I see this subscription as a way to push myself to read more sci-fi because I find it interesting and fascinating, no matter in a bookshop, on their website, or how general public gonna see these two genres. Always fantasy and sci-fi. But I have never read any sci-fi before. With the reputation of Broken Binding and the choices of the books before, I guess it is the time for me to experience this genre. Obviously, I haven't read The Martian before and not even watching the movie, but I've heard about quite a lot of good reviews about Andy Weir's work, especially on Goodreads. Look at the ratings of them. So I think I am in for a treat with this book subscription, and of course I will definitely do a reading vlog about it because it is my first time to read any sci-fi. It's gonna be funny and exciting. So here are all the books that I wanna read in May, and of course there are gonna be 2 more books on it. And don't forget, we're gonna play a later game in May. You're gonna choose my very first book to read in this month. So go to the poll now in the community tab and vote for it. So if you have enjoyed today's video, don't forget to give it a like. If you don't want to miss any content from me, make sure you have subscribed to my channel. I'll see you real soon. Goodbye.